Hello class, it's week 7. We are not able to meet online via Collaborate, so I'm doing a e-video instead. Okay, today's lecture will cover on video production, mainly on the storyline as well as the first part to video production. Okay, the key content I'll be covering today. First, it will be about the assignment, particularly about the assignment descriptor, and also the case scenario. There are 9. 1 to 7 is actually provided on the ACES handbook, and 8 to 9 will come from ACTA, which will all be can be downloaded on mail. Okay, third, I'll go through the marking rubrics for the assignment. Then the second part for today's lecture will cover on the basics of video production. In video production, there are actually 3 stages, but what I'll be covering today will be on the pre-production stage, and I'll talk in greater detail on the script, the roles, as well as storyboard. Alright, first thing on the assignment descriptor. This is a 30% group assignment. What you need to do will be to create a 2.5 minutes short video that focuses on one of the case scenario depicted in the ACES Code of Ethics handbook. You have this handbook last semester, so please go and look for it. If let's say you are not choosing scenario 1 to 7, there is 8 and 9, which is provided by ACTA, and it is also available on your mail. Okay, and what you need to do, you have to be able to plan, design, and create a short video using a software application. So that is a video editing software, and if you are familiar with iMovie, Windows Movie Maker, or even Adobe Premiere, okay, you can use one of those to edit your video, and of course to collaborate and work in a team. For instructions, each group will produce one short video on a given case scenario. Okay, and this case scenario demonstrates how the Code of Ethics can be applied to a diverse range of contexts that early childhood educators may encounter every day in their work with children, families, community, and colleagues. However, you must adhere to the following requirement regarding the video. So your target audience will be for early childhood educators. Alright, so it will be educators like yourself. Okay, the video should have an opening or title screen. Okay, you can feature the title of the case scenario if you want to. Subtitles if there's a dialogue. Okay, and of course your credits. Okay, other than the video, you have to present a storyboard using PowerPoint. Alright, and you have to describe in your PowerPoint presentation how the work is being distributed in the group. Alright, and also talk about the storyboard and explain why your video is suitable for early childhood educators. Okay, and you're given 15 minutes for the presentation, including the showcasing of the video. And in the PowerPoint slides, an individual self-reflection. Okay, one member per slide. Okay, one slide per member. Okay, to include in the PowerPoint slides. Okay, just take note, the date of submission will be on the 29th of January, 5 p.m. Okay, and make sure you follow the requirements required for the submission. Okay, next on the case scenario, scenario 1 to 9, there are 9. So within the class, you are all supposed to cover different scenarios. Okay, 1 to 9, particularly 1 to 7 will come from ACES, and 8 to 9 will come from ACTA. Okay, so again, these case studies, they all have some form of ethical responsibility or obligations that are in conflict, and your job will be to actually highlight the case scenario. Okay, so you may have some questions about the scenario. Question 1, can I change the characters in the scenario? Yes, You can adapt the story by changing the name of the characters or gender, etc. However, please note that this is a training video for other educators in future. Therefore, the setting should still be based on the case scenario. Okay, so if it's something that happens in a classroom, there is something that happens in a classroom. You don't change it and make it into a home setting, okay, which may not be relevant for a day-to-day context that early childhood educator might face. All right. Question 2. Do we need to solve the dilemma? No, you're not required. You're just supposed to develop the case scenario into a 2.5 minutes video, give it a bit of the background, okay, develop the context a bit more. Okay, however, basically you build your storyline around the chosen scenario. Give it some history, or what happens in the morning before and after, and stuff like that. Okay, so your task will be to highlight the ethical dilemma in the scenario. You are not required to solve the dilemma. Do we all have to put in the dialogue in our video? Okay, my answer is it depends. If your original scenario has a dialogue, then it will be best to include it, as it may feature, okay, that dialogue itself may highlight the main conflict in the scenario. Okay, if your scenario doesn't come with a dialogue, you can put in a dialogue. Okay, otherwise, there are some videos that the characters itself during the video, they don't talk, but through your acting or the narration, you must be able to highlight the dilemma. Okay, so the suggestion for you is to consider adding in a narration and subtitles in the video for better comprehension. Okay, can we feature children in our video? Okay, this is a bit tricky. There must be some form of a written evidence that permission has been granted if you are featuring children. Like I mentioned, this will be used as a training video, okay, for ACES or ACTA. So we don't want a case whereby you feature children and parents have not given permission, and this has something to do with ethics. So please make sure you have written evidence, okay, to cover whatever you're doing. Alright, so if you are not able to find any children, then you have to cast some of your group members or even get help from your friends to act as children if needed. Can we tweak the scenario to make it more humorous? Yes, please go ahead, as long as you present the conflict within that scenario. What should we put in the credits in our video? Okay, the entire production crew. Like you watch any drama, at the end there will be running credits, right? So you follow that. So the production crew, the music and images must be credited. All copyright to be observed. Okay, your credit should also feature NP school logo and a mention that the scenario was adapted from the Code of Ethics Handbook by ACES if you are choosing case scenario 1 to 7. For 8 and 9, we'll advise you at a later stage how you should credit, because the scenario is provided by ACTA. Okay, next we'll talk about the marking rubrics. Basically, 30% of your assignment 2 will be contributed by the storyboard. So what is required? What is on your storyboard must be consistent with how your video flows. Alright, and your sketches, your idea must be clear and it must flow. Alright, each frame must flow in quite a logical sequence. We are not expecting you to be artists, but for your sketch, it needs to be clear. Okay, you need additional notes to support your storyboard. And also whether you provide sufficient detail on the setting, the transition, the effects, and the narration. Okay. Next, 40% will go to the video technical skills. That means in your video itself, is it shaky? Is there clear lighting? Alright. Sound quality. Okay, if you have a dialogue or narration, is the quality clear? And if you have any background music and things like that. the aesthetics appeal as a video to the general public? In this case, it will be the early childhood educators. Does it appeal aesthetically to them? Okay, and the other 10 marks will go to things like your movie effects, your transition, whether you have a title, subtitles, and credits, etc. And of course, the storyline and the clarity of the message, okay, featured in the video. 20% will be from the group presentation. So everything on presentation slides, you know, your slide transition, effects, your clarity of speech, etc., etc. And of course, the last 10% will be the proper referencing and submission. Okay. Next, we will cover on the basics of video production. Stage 1, on pre-production, we will cover on script, role, as well as storyboard. Okay, what makes a good video? What is the aim of the video? Is the aim clear? Okay, this is one question you need to ask yourself whenever we are looking at a video. Okay, what is the video trying to achieve? Is that objective clear? Okay, is there any target audience? Does that video suit the target audience needs? Okay, and of course, when we look at a video, there may be some technical stuff or even about the storyline that is good or bad. So these are certain things that we can look into whenever we are critiquing about a video and how to improve. Alright, so again, when we talk about the stages of video production, there are 3 stages. So for pre-production, we need to plan what we want to film. Alright, for production will be the actual shooting, and post-production will be putting everything together. That includes your editing, mainly your editing. Okay, so today we're going to cover on pre-production stage, and there will be some activities that you need to do. Alright,